The first thing I noticed was how tightly she was holding the sketchbook. Not proudly, not dramatically, just tightly, like if she loosened her grip even a little, the pages might betray her. It was my mother's birthday. The living room smelled like cardamom tea and furniture polish, the same way it had for 30 years. My daughter stood near the doorway, waiting for a pause in adult conversation that never seemed to come naturally to her. "Go on," I said gently. She walked over to her grandmother and handed her the portrait. A charcoal drawing. Careful lines. Patient shading. She had spent 3 weekends on it, sitting at the dining table long after homework was finished. My mother adjusted her glasses. Before she could say anything, my sister laughed, a short, nasal sound she rarely seemed aware of making. "She's not creative," she said, almost casually. "She traces stuff off Pinterest." The words weren't loud. They didn't need to be. The room didn't gasp. No one corrected her. It just settled there. My daughter's shoulders shifted inward by half an inch. Not dramatic enough for anyone else to notice. But I did. I felt that old heat rise in my chest, the familiar family reflex. Dismiss first, praise carefully. Especially if the praise belongs to someone young. I could have snapped back. Listed the hours, the sketchbooks, the competitions, but defending too loudly would have made it worse for her. It would have turned her into a debate topic. So I stayed quiet. My cousin, sitting on the arm of the sofa, leaned slightly toward my sister. Her voice wasn't confrontational. It was almost conversational. You don't know that she was the youngest finalist in the National Arts Showcase. Not loud. Not whispered either. Just placed carefully in the room. My sister blinked. "What?" My daughter looked up at me, not with pride. With panic. She hadn't wanted that mentioned. She didn't like attention. My mother lowered the portrait slightly. "Finalist?" she asked. I hesitated for half a second. Then I stood, walked to the sideboard, and took the folded envelope from my bag. I had brought it because my mother likes keeping things. Certificates. Newspaper clippings. Proof. I handed it to her. The letterhead was official. The statistics were printed plainly, thousands of entries. Regional selection. National panel review. No dramatic music. No applause. Just silence thick enough to hear paper shift. My sister didn't apologize. She doesn't, not easily. Instead, she said, "Softer now?" "Oh, I didn't realize." That was all. But it was enough. The portrait was lifted again, this time studied. The shading along the cheekbone, the way the light fell across my mother's hair. My daughter swallowed, uncertain whether she was being examined or appreciated. I watched my sister's face. Not anger, not jealousy exactly. Something tighter. Recognition. Maybe years ago, she'd wanted to apply to art school. Our parents told her it wasn't practical. She pivoted. She became efficient, sensible, safe. Some disappointments calcify quietly. My mother cleared her throat. "Show me how you did this part," she said to my daughter, pointing to the eyes. My daughter stepped closer. Her voice trembled at first, then steadied as she explained cross, hatching, pressure control, the way she practiced expressions from a mirror instead of copying photos. The conversation shifted without announcement. My cousin asked about the showcase. My uncle asked what medium she preferred. My sister stayed quiet, arms folded, but listening. No one congratulated her excessively. No one made a spectacle, and that mattered. Because what I saw then wasn't a triumphant child. It was a child regaining balance. Her spine straightened. Her hands stopped gripping the edge of her shirt. The hierarchy in that room didn't flip. It adjusted. My sister eventually leaned forward. "Do you take commissions?" she asked, almost neutral. My daughter considered the question seriously, like a professional evaluating a request. "Sometimes," she said. That was the moment I knew something had shifted. Not revenge. Not humiliation. Authority had entered the room in the form of a printed letter and a grandmother who chose to look closely. And my daughter didn't need me to fight for her. She needed space and a quiet, undeniable fact. Later, when we were leaving, she slipped her hand into mine. "I didn't want them to know," she said. "I know." Are you mad she said that? I thought about it. About insecurity disguised as certainty. About how families bruise each other without intending permanent damage. "No," I said finally. "Sometimes people speak from old places." She nodded, as if filing that away for future reference. Inside the house, I could hear my sister asking my mother if she still had her old sketchbooks in storage. Power doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it just rearranges the furniture and waits for everyone to notice.